Okay, from zone to zone, a powerful journal article, I think whose inspiration was our leader's poem, Christ in Christmas. This is very topical for the times that we live in. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, most of it though, but you guys should definitely check it out from zone to zone. God's universe is one infinite spiritual reflection of divine substance and life. Throughout the length, breadth, depth, and height of the universe, the laws of harmony continuously operate. Divine science is the government of this measureless realm, filled with divine ideas and their identities, obedient to their creative mind. Here are spiritually scientific statements which hold vast import for students of world affairs. Spiritual facts, when discerned and accepted, affect global events as naturally as individual situations. As humanity progresses out of the chaos of materialistic belief, inspired thought, becoming aware of the unaltered divine order, necessarily eagerly reaches out for further spiritual perception wherewith to behold the unshaken reality of things. Spiritual perception alone cognizes the eternal unity of universal existence and the control of divine science. Through such penetration, everlasting love, impartial, constant, ever Godward in its impulsions, is seen to be the only animating power of all elements in formation, of all intelligence and action. Wholly and continually, the universe of mind's ideas reflects divine scientific order, functioning in accord with supreme harmony. Necessarily, that which emanates from God must exist within the infinitude of divine mind, partake of the nature of soul, and be formed of the substance of love. For the terms of mind, soul, love, God are synonymous in science. The universe contains only celestial bodies in the unbroken rhythm of heavenly concord, controlled by the moral and spiritual forces of mind and dwelling in the atmosphere of soul. The seasons of the universe are periods of constant spiritual unfoldment, which brings forth fadeless evidence of the presence of divine qualities throughout creation. God eternally coexists with his universe, with that which is embraced in his all-inclusiveness. Speaking of Christian Science, Mary Baker Eddy writes on page 364 of Miscellaneous Writings, "It is not a search after wisdom, it is wisdom. It is God's right hand grasping the universe, all time, space, immortality, thought, extension, cause, and effect, constituting and governing all identity, individuality, law, and power. This holy provision ensures constant perfection, endless government, and changeless sovereignty for universal existence. At no time and in no part of the universe can there occur a break in the divine control. God cannot be excluded for an instant from infinitude, and his laws are established for eternity. Preservation permeates their every action of unfoldment, without opposition, resistance, or delay. The majesty of spiritual law pursues its glorious way. Thus, universal manifestation, rising from boundless perfection, lives, moves, and has being in terms of foreverness, allness, divinity. Knowing only the existence of immortality in the substance of spirit, untouched by sin and death, the universe expresses the glory of God, radiant, eternal reality. All identities which comprise the universe exist in unity because in the divine order, each idea is tributary directly to divine mind, always sharing its inexhaustible essence. Thus, the grandeur of all existence, indestructible throughout its vastness, is maintained by God's science. In contrast with this unified immensity and stability of everlasting perfection, belief in a power apart from God is like a grain of sand on a tidal shore. Human, erring sense, having no conception of infinity or perfection, believes that the universe is material and divided into both discordant and harmonious parts. It believes in the subdivisions of the earth named zones, that in belief attributes to these zones certain conditions of good or evil. The frigid zones are believed to be regions of the universe where storms originate, which spread disaster. The torrid zone is believed to be an expanse where fevers and pestilences breed. Other divisions are labeled earthquake zones, hurricane zones, and so on. When humanity becomes involved in the acceptance of evil belief, the subdivisions of erroneous sense multiply, and there seem to be enemy zones when springs the anguish of war, battle zones where carnage stains the earth, and danger zones where destruction awaits the traveler. Mortal mind defines these zones as areas where evil holds sway and from which good has been eliminated. Then mortal belief declares that if men dwell within or pass through such territory, they are subject to disaster and destruction. Having no concept of God's infinite kingdom, mortal sense would like to believe in these little spaces where it might reign for a season. But God's science grasps all time and space, all cause and effect, all power and law. There can be no such thing as territory where evil holds control, where God's law has ceased to function. There is no space deserted by God or forbidden to God. There is no opportunity for error to start, accumulate, or dominate. The assumption that there is a moment when God is not supreme is mortal illusion. David knew the falsity of error's claims to possess and govern a zone of existence anywhere. In declaring the boundless presence of God good, he wrote, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me." God's omnipotence precludes the possibility of a danger zone in creation. Man never passes through evil's realm or exists for a moment within it, for evil, being non-existent, possesses no domain. All ideas of the Creator live and disport themselves in perfect safety throughout the endless realm of mind. They know no fear, no peril in boundless love. They know that they can never go beyond love's care. With these spiritual facts, Christian Science strips error of its claim of zones or to annul the laws of harmony, restrict the action of man, and menace the universal peace. There is no occasion for evil and immeasurable good, no breeding time for paganism, no room for animal magnetism, no tract for war, no place for pestilence, no region for captivity, no chance for discord, sin, or death. In order that humanity may be aware of man's forever safety in the universe of soul, Mrs. Eddy has given the world the revelation of divine science in her poem, Christ and Christmas, is a significant statement of this science. Fast circling on from zone to zone, bright, blessed afar, o'er the grim night of chaos shone, one lone, brave star. In tender mercy, spirit sped, a loyal ray to rouse the living, wake the dead, and point the way. The Christ idea, God anoints, of truth and life. The way in science he appoints, that stills all strife.